GDSP as a proxy, which is probably the best way because it's new value being created. It's anywhere between 16 to 300 billion, which is 10% of the total GDSP of this market. So it is hugely opportunistic, and we believe it will change people's lives. Things will change the lives of people. Just things that are important for this to work is typically affordability of sensors, availability of sensors. So we're talking billions of sensors being put into things all over. A typical example, if you want to sense the water flow of a river, you need to be able to drop a sensor into the water, and that sensor, you're not going to be able to find that sensor and go and look for it and make sure you can replace the battery. So it's really critical that you have long battery life. Drop it in there, it must last for 10 years. It will pop up and give you some information based on some algorithm maybe every 6 months. So battery life critical, absolutely critical. And when it switches on and provides you information, it needs to consume very, very low amount of data and battery. And I think that gives you a typical example of why something like narrowband IoT will scale the value proposition of IoT. In fact, the market will explode or grow in multiple verticals, but in markets like Africa, where social economic challenges, availability of water and electricity and health and education, we're seeing a lot of development. In fact, that's where we're seeing massive growth and where we're focusing a lot of our efforts. The ability to monitor healthcare services in rural areas is a typical use case that we've been doing for 3 years already. The ability to switch on, switch off water meters, geysers. I believe countries and economies, social requirements will drive the adoption of IoT. And enterprise is approximately 70% of the opportunity, but it's really easy to monetize the consumer play with wearables and heart rate monitors and cameras in homes and so forth. None of this will work unless we can provide the confidence to the market to say this is secure, but secure at every single level. Connectivity layer, sensor layer, the gateway layer, the infrastructure layer. And as a telco, every single thing we do is built in at the core. At the number one building block is security. So we've seen the connectivity growing at 27.7% the last 6 months, which is double-digit plus, which for me is quite significant. We're seeing the rise of consumer value propositions in wearables, in security cameras, in monitoring and managing smart homes and smart offices. We're seeing the smart car being developed. This market is driven by social economic challenges. Stealing of cars in this market has been a phenomenon many years ago, which means it's a very sophisticated market already in some of those verticals. So there are different models around how to build the use case around IoT, but the Internet of Things, we believe, based on GDSP as a proxy, is somewhere between 1 to 11% of a country's GDSP could be contributed by IoT. And typical market opportunity like South Africa is on the top end to 300 billion. So 16 to 300 billion, quite a sizable, massive impact in our lives.